Good evening. Thanks for being with us. Let's take a look at the top story that we are tracking for you. Despite the raging virus, President Jair Bolsonaro has led a motorcade rally in Rio de Janeiro. Thousands of motorcycle riding supporters of Brazil's president joined Bolsonaro as he rode his motorcycle through the streets of Rio to the city's World War II monument. All this while he faces an increasingly hostile congressional hearing into his handling of the pandemic in Brazil. The motorcade rally, President Jair Bolsonaro took a swipe at former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, calling him the thief for a presidential candidate.
Falando em política, para o ano que vem já tem uma chapa formada. Um ladrão candidato a presidente e um vagabundo como vice.
Bolsonaro's comments come after Lula's efforts to bring Brazil's left and center closer. The opposition leader met with centrist Fernando Henrique Cardoso and a two-term former president for lunch last week. Jair Bolsonaro was elected as the president of Brazil in 2018 on a wave of anti-establishment sentiment and opposition to Lula's Workers' Party. Now, his party had governed Brazil for 13 years straight. Over the past few weeks, Bolsonaro's popularity has plummeted, mostly due to the pandemic, which has killed nearly 450,000 Brazilians. And the president played down the severity of the coronavirus by dismissing mask wearing and casting doubt on the importance of vaccines. Recent opinion polls suggest that Lula could defeat Bolsonaro soundly in a runoff if the October 22 election were held today. Now, Lula is widely tipped to challenge Bolsonaro next year, but he has stopped short of confirming his candidacy outright. But Bolsonaro's support within the Brazilian region can't be overlooked. On the 1st of May, hundreds of Brazilians took to the streets of Sao Paulo to show their support for President Jair Bolsonaro. Clad in Brazil's national colors of yellow and green, thousands of citizens took to the streets of major cities across the country. The mass rallies took place after Bolsonaro was criticized for his handling of the pandemic. Anti-Bolsonaro protesters also took place in the nearby streets, but in smaller numbers. Now, the experts have blamed the death toll on the failure of the government, from Bolsonaro down to many state governors and mayors, to launch a robust response to the pandemic. The Brazilian Senate has launched an investigation into the worsening pandemic situation in the country. The last hearing was on Wednesday, where the former Brazilian Health Minister, Eduardo Pazuello, had testified on President Jair Bolsonaro's handling of the pandemic. The former minister had denied any political interference by Bolsonaro over negotiations for vaccine supplies.
Vamos para a segunda pergunta. Próxima pergunta, Pedro Vilela.
Dizer a verdade, no que souber lhe for perguntado.
Earlier, politicians and officials had blamed the president for attempting to impede the purchase of vaccines early in the pandemic. Now, the Senate hearings have called on all three of Bolsonaro's health ministers to testify over actions of the president, as well as their other officials of the government involved in the decision-making process over the health policies.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.